Hello guys and welcome. Now Easter is just around the corner, so today I thought we were going to make something Easter themed. Now this is supposed to look like a small egg ornament, kind of, and I did this in one color. I guess we could do them in one color here and then have one color border, but for this tutorial I'm just going to show you how to make this one in one color. But before we get started, we are going to be needing some supplies and stuff. We're going to be needing a crochet hook, and I'm using this 3.5mm hook. We are going to be needing some kind of needle to attach the ends, a pair of scissors to cut stuff, and last but not least some kind of yarn. And I'm using this green yarn that was left over from another project, and the egg is going to turn out something like this with this color. And the recommended hook size for this yarn is 3.5. That's why I used the 3.5 hook. So now that we have everything, we can start our project. We're going to start off with the green yarn, and we start this with a slip knot. We put our hook through the slip knot or through the loop here, and we pull it tight, or tight enough. And now we're going to make 2 chains. So 1, 2. So that's our first row. Now for row 2, we are going to chain 1 more. And now we go through the second loop here from second stitch from the hook. So not the one we just made. We go through the second chain here. And in this chain, we're going to make an increase. A single crochet increase, and that is 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And it's going to be a bit crowded, but that will sort itself out later on, I promise. So that was the first of the 2 chains. Now the next chain here, we're going to make an increase with single crochet in that stitch as well. So that's 1 single crochet, and here's the second. So that's our second row. We should now have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches here. Now for row 3, we're going to start the same way, chain 1, we're going to turn. And once again, we're going to put an increase of single crochet here in the first stitch. So that's the first, and this is the second single crochet over increase. There we go. Now we make 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch here for the next 2. There we go. And now on the last stitch here, we're going to put another increase. So we find our way. This stitch can always be a bit tricky. There we go, I think I'm through. Because we need to make sure that we go through both loops here. There we go. So that's the first single crochet, and this is going to be the second one in the same stitch to form our increase. Now there we go. So that was row 3. Now row 4 is going to start the same way. We're going to chain 1, we're going to turn, and we're going to put another increase here in the first stitch. That's our first single crochet here of the increase, and then the second one. Then we go ahead and make 4 single crochet, 1 in each stitch for the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and the 4th. Then we're going to put an increase in the last stitch of the row here. That's 1 out of 2. and 2 out of 2. So that was row 4. Now for row 5, actually row 5, 6, 7, and 8, these are going to be super simple rows. Because the increases are done now, so now for row 5 we're just going to chain 1 turn, and then we're going to make 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the last stitch here. There we go, so that was row 5. Row 6, like I mentioned, is going to be the same thing, 1 chain turn, and we make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that was row 6. Row 7, same thing, 1 chain turn. We make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th and last one here. Now for row 8, this is going to be the last one of these straightforward rows, at least for this part. We chain 1 turn, and once again we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way to the end, which should come out to a row total of 8 single crochet. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th and last stitch here. There we go, that was row 8. Now for row 9, now we are going to start to decrease, because this is the bottom of the egg, and now we need to taper and decrease to get kind of the oval shape up here. So for row 9, we chain 1, we turn. Now we are going to put a decrease in the first and last stitch. And there's more than one way to make a decrease. You could skip over the first stitch, this one, and just go into here and make a single crochet. Or you could, as I'm doing, repeat this. We have the chain. You could go through the first stitch, pick up, go through the second stitch, pick up, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's how I make my decreases, most of the time. So now we are going to go ahead and make 4 single crochet, 1 in each stitch for the next 4. So this is the second, the third, and the 4th here. Now we have 2 stitches left here in the row, and that's going to be another decrease. So same thing here, I go through, pick up, go through the next stitch, pick up, I have 3 loops in the hook, I yarn over, and I pull through all 3. So now we should be down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches, and that's correct. So now for row 10, this is going to be kind of simple. We chain 1, we turn, and we're going to make 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Row 11, it's going to be the same thing, chain 1 turn, and we're going to make 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th and last one here. See, it's starting to taper, and we start to get this leaning here. Now row 12 is going to be another decrease row. So we start with chain 1, we turn. Once again, I go through the first stitch, pick up, the second stitch, pick up. Now I have 3 loops here on the hook. I yarn over, and I pull through all 3. Then we make 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So for the next 2. Now we have 2 left. We do the same thing. Go through, pick up, go through the next one, pick up, and with these 3 we yarn over and pull through. That was row 12. Now for row 13 we're going to chain 1, we're going to turn, and we're going to make 4 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now for our last row, row 14, we are going to make another decrease row. So chain 1, we turn, and now we only have 4 stitches left here, so it's just going to be 1 decrease after another here. So I did my decrease the same way, went through and picked up in both, and then pulled through all 3. And in the last 2 we did the same thing. Pick up, pick up, and then we pull through all 3. So that's our egg, but as you can see it's very jagged, the edge here. And to mitigate that we are going to crochet a border around this, single crochet all the way. And also to save cutting and attaching, we are just going to continue with the source attached here, and we're gonna chain 1, turn, and we're gonna work in this direction and just come up here and then attach here. And then last part we are going to make the string that it hangs from. That's going to be chains. So we start with chaining 1, we turn, and now we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of the top stitches here. So 1, 2, so basically like adding a row. Now we are going to bend this around the corner and work our way around here. What we could do is go through the same stitch here and kind of force it around the corner, but that would cause it to be like square. So what we do, we see this already has a stitch in the one we just made. So I'm not gonna make anything more in here. I'm just gonna skip over to the next one and make my chain in that one. And now we're over to the edge side of things. So now we go through each here and make a single crochet. So you see, this was the last one. So the next one will be here. We make a single crochet. We move on to the next one, which is here, and make a single crochet. And then next one, single crochet. Next one, single crochet. And one more. And you can also work, like you see the difference between the rows here. I usually call this notches because it looks like small notches here, and then we have a valley here. So we work it like 1 in the notches, 1 in the valley, and that's kind of how I keep them apart. So we just keep going, single crochet, 1 in each, all the way around here. Still just putting 1 in each until I get down to here. And this is going to be row 1, 2, 3. So in row 3, where you see this bigger gap here, it kind of looks different, so you see it here. In that stitch we are going to put an increase, otherwise this is going to like warp upwards or downwards. We want to keep this flat, and that's why we make 1 increase here. So we go through and make a single crochet, and then we make a second one in the same stitch. So that's our increase. Now we have 2 rows. We have 1 row left and then the chains, rather. And it's kind of easier to just go next, to just skip and go into the chains, but then we're gonna get that warping effect. So what we do is we really locate here. You see, this is the row. So we push our needle through or hook through. And we make a single crochet. And now we are just up towards the chains here, and that's where we want to be. So we put 1 single crochet in the first chain, and then 1 single crochet in the second chain. And you see the edge, it's much smoother now, and we are ready to start working our way back up here. And this start tail can actually be just held against here, the edge, and we're going to work that in as we go along, because then we don't need to stitch anything down here. We're just going to work it in and then cut it off once we get up here. So same thing on this side. That was the bottom chain, and that means this is row, let's see here, yeah, as you can see the notches here, that's first and this is second. So in the second we put 1 single crochet. And that means that this valley, you see here, is where we put the 2 single crochet, the increase. So in the next stitch here, we're going to make an increase to have it symmetrical on both sides. That's our first stitch of the increase, and we make a second one. And now we're going to go ahead and make 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way back to the top. And I'm still working it 1 into the notch row and 1 into the valley row, so 1 in each. And now I'm up to here, so I'm going to release this and just let it hang for now. And now we kind of need to look so we don't go too far here. It's going to be 1 more. Yeah, that's the last one. Because now we don't want to do the mistake that I explained on this side. We don't want to go through this one again, because we already have this stitch here. So I stop here on the valley row just before the last, or next to the last. And that's all the single crochet we're going to make. So now we go through to both loops of the top stitch here, pick up yarn, and we make a slip stitch to complete it. And to have something that we can hang this on, we are just gonna go ahead and make the string without cutting or anything. So you see on the slip stitch I made a chain, and now we go ahead and make 24 more chains. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as you can see, I pull my stitches kind of tight, the chains here at least, because I don't want this to be all loose. I want this to be more string-like. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So that's our string. Now we can go ahead and cut this off, leaving like a few inches, 4 maybe. We can go ahead and pull this through. We can pull this in a bit, cut it off, and pull it in. So now we're rid of that one, and we thread our regular needle with this tail. We hold it like this to make this straight, and then we go through You see this one starts here, so we go through the second stitch here, or the stitch next to where we started. We pull it in, tie it against the stitch, turn it. Oh, I don't want it to. There we go. And then I loop around and into the chain after. And we want this kind of tightly attached. I make a few passes in the same couple here. And once I'm happy with how it is, or once I'm happy with the fitment, I just go through somewhere here to get it to the back side, and now we can work it in behind the edge row here. See, you can't see the needle. That's what we want. Once it's in there, we can go ahead and cut it off. And we pull the rest in. So we shape this a bit. And we are done. There we have it, an egg ornament. As an Easter decoration. So now you can just go ahead and make this in several different colors. And you're ready for Easter. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. If you want to see more crafty crochet tutorials and other projects, feel free to subscribe. Please leave a like if you liked the video. And I will see you in the next one. So thank you so much. Bye!